Retro Unboxing.
Hello guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jonathan, and today I'm going to be looking at one of my all-time favourite console computer gaming systems ever. It's not the first. The first I will come to at some point during this series, and the first is the Commodore 64. So I'm just about 40, and the first system that I had as a child was indeed a Commodore 64, and loved it. And then once kind of, I guess, grown out of that and technology moved on, the next obvious choice was the Commodore AMIGA 500, and that's what I'm going to be looking at today. So just to be absolutely clear, until a couple of months ago, I didn't own a single console other than an Xbox One X, and I'd got a little bit disillusioned with the games that were coming out on that, and I'm kind of thinking to myself, were games better back in the day? I don't necessarily think they were, but did I enjoy them more? Yes, definitely. That may have been because I was younger. But really, in this series of videos, I really want to explore that. Were games better back then? We'll see. Do I enjoy playing these games more? You know, the likes of Sensible Soccer, Cannon Fodder, etc., etc. And what can you get for similar money to picking up a couple of Xbox One or PS4 games? Right then, guys, onto the unboxing. So, as I said earlier, this wasn't my first computer or console. The Commodore 64 was. But I think this one stayed with me for longer. Was a bit less frustrating to use and play because of the load times of the Commodore 64. We had a company locally to where we lived, a company called Gordon Harwood's, which I'm sure that many Amiga and Commodore 64 owners will probably know as being a pretty big retailer of the Amiga and the Commodore brands. So they were local. We could play on one of these computers in the shop, and that's where we got our original Amiga from. So I do know that the guy I bought it off, he's packed it up as best as possible. But he did say a couple of the bags were missing, so he said not to expect it like it's, you know, I'm opening a retail machine. So I understand that. And I'd say, I love the fact that the seal is still there, although obviously it's been broken for many years. But the box is in wicked condition. Thank you. But what we've got here is the user manual and Amiga Basic. I don't know whether this would have originally come with the computer or if this is something. I mean, it's a similar type of manual, but I don't remember having one of these with my Amiga back in the day. But it's a long time ago. It's 30 years ago. So I'll pop that over there. But I do very specifically remember the Amiga manual. Again, something tells me that this is maybe a later revision. I'm not too sure. So this refers to Workbench 1.2. Although when the guy started this, I'm sure it was 1.3. So maybe there's a bit of a mismatch actually. Looking at it now, so we've got an extras disc and Workbench 1.2. So back in the day, guys, if no one ever had one of these older computers, or if you're a bit younger and haven't seen one of these, this is where information, games, data, programs used to be stored on these little 3.5-inch discs, and I believe these could hold a whopping 1 megabyte of data, which was pretty impressive back in the day. So I'll just put those to the side. Now, he did also say that cables wise there'll be a few extra bits in here. So this would have been an extra cable. This wouldn't have come with the machine, but this is to connect it to a monitor rather than a TV. Now, set everything aside. That, I believe, is a serial cable of some sort. Don't know. I'm not going to be using that, so I will sling that over there. Put the manual out of the way. Got to read this first. Check all connections. If you have a problem setting up your computer or getting it to work properly, do this. Check you can ensure, contact your dealer, blah blah blah. I'm sure I should be okay. Fingers crossed. You must complete your warranty card. Wow. Commodore Business Machines UK Limited Warranty Registration Department, Wimbledon, London. So I guess the idea was that you fill this in and send it back and it extends a warranty, but obviously the guy didn't do that. I wonder how many people actually did do that back in the day. I never did, to my recollection. You could pay for an extra warranty. That's pretty cool. Anyway, I'll keep that safe. Something. Aha. Now, this was the... no, I'll leave that there. We'll come back to it. The modulator, which was the stuff of nightmares. If anybody remembers from back in the day, the TV modulator was the least fun part of Amiga ownership. So what we have here is an old school tank mouse, so called because, well, it's like a bloody tank. It's not like one of these ergonomic things, it's just a block. Again, someone may be able to tell this is a bit mucky. Someone may be able to tell me whether this is an original mouse or not. It certainly the original design, but whether it's an original Commodore mouse, it doesn't say Commodore. It just says Amiga made in Hong Kong. So if anybody knows, please let me know. I might get on eBay in a bit and try and find a nice cleaner model. And then the second worst thing about Amiga, the second worst thing about Amiga ownership, I never ever liked this power brick. Now it's weighty, so you could put it where you wanted it and it'd stay there. But the real worst thing about this for me was you could never keep your desk tidy. So I'll demonstrate when I set the computer up, but you set this down, and really what you wanted to do was put your plug in behind your desk and then run your cable to the back of your computer, and then try and hide cables best as possible. But you'd always just got this situation where the plug is on kind of the front of the power brick, and that was the one that you wanted to run down the back of the desk. So you'd always just got this situation where you'd got this bit of cable. It was a real pain. But first world problems. The good thing with this is, having a good look at it, it's in absolutely mint condition. Apologies for the noise as all these cables scrape around, but you can see that this is in absolutely immaculate condition, and this is exactly what I was looking for. The other thing I did notice, well, obviously it's got a plug on it. Back in the day, you wouldn't have actually had a plug. It would have just come bare wire, and you would have had to put your own plug on it. Now, I don't remember this spongy thing. Maybe, as I say, maybe it was a later addition to the packaging, but welcome, because obviously it protects the computer a bit better. So let's get this bad boy out. Now, yeah, there it is. The hateful, horrid TV modulator. There's something that doesn't quite feel right about this to me. I don't know whether this is a replacement unit. If anybody can tell from the serial numbers and whatnot, sort of doesn't look quite legit. In that, you know, maybe it's not an original. Some, you know, the guy perhaps lost his or whatever and had to replace it. But it just something just doesn't quite feel exactly right about it. It's not a problem, but you know, whatever. I'll just set that over there, and what I'll do is get rid of the rest of this packaging, and then we'll have a closer look at this computer. Ugh. It's not nice, is it? Look at that. I'll chuck this out of the way. Have a look at that, guys. That is mint. Absolutely. This really brings back some extremely fond memories. And I can't wait to plug it in and get it set up. Have a look at this. Guys, that's fantastic. I'll get some nice close-up shots of this so you can see how neat and really clean and tidy it is. I'm not going to go as far as saying museum. I do notice the odd blemish. There's a bit of a scratch across the return key there, but do you know what? This is exactly what I was hoping for. So just a quick kind of run around. This is where you put your discs in. I'm sure you know most of you watching this video. I'm sure will know this. Put your 3.5 inch discs. Pop in there. Like so, and eject back out. All of the ports on this machine are on the back. Bit of a bugbear with the old Commodore 64 was that you had some ports on the side. So again, just in terms of keeping things neat and tidy, the Commodore 64 was a little bit more difficult in that respect. So, in fact, I tell you what, I'm just going to show the serial number first. So, because I'm guessing that this starts with a 4, so I'm guessing that must mean it's some fourth revision. I don't know. I'm hoping again that someone will be watching this and will know exactly what that means. But the bottom is in ridiculously good condition, and the seal. The back there is intact, and the seal at the base there is also intact. There's not a mark on it. Oh, there's a little bit of a mark there. So you've got ports for your joystick and mouse. I can't remember which way you were supposed to put those, but they both say joystick. Audio. This was another good thing about the Amiga. My favourite thing was connecting it to a separate amplifier. So I can remember having some, you know, Amstrad MIDI hi-fi system or an Iowa mini hi-fi system back in the day, and being able to plug it in and get in real proper good stereo. There you can plug in an external disk drive, which I do have, but it's not boxed. But I'll crack that out later on. We've got a serial port for connecting to other stuff. Now, I'll be honest, I can't remember which way around these were, parallel and serial. It's just data connections for printers and that kind of thing. There's the power socket, and there's the video socket. So this is what I was kind of alluding to earlier, is that you can either connect this directly to a monitor, which is what I'm going to be doing. But if you wanted to connect it to a TV, what you had to do was plug this in to the back of here, and then there were separate cables to go to your TV. So the RF out, you had to connect it to the back of your TV and tune it in. which obviously all of these old machines had to do, but the frustrating thing with the Amiga specifically was that this was in a separate box rather than being internal to the Amiga. So when you plug this in here, you've got a machine that is now 6 feet long. It's ridiculous, especially with another cable in the back. And the other thing that this actually caused an issue with was this sits, unfortunately, a couple of millimetres off of the table. So this was the source of many issues, and you'd find yourself having to prop this up with a bit of paper or a magazine or whatever, or wiggling it about, getting it to work. Hopefully there'll be none of these frustrations by connecting it to the monitor. What I may do in a later video is actually connect it to a TV and see how it looks on there, but yeah, that was always a source of frustration. But anyway, so let's right, so the monitor is on, the Amiga is, I believe, plugged in and pretty much ready to go. So we've got a red power light. I've got nothing on the screen. Oh, listen. The brightness is full. Right, bear with me guys while I have a play with this and... Oh Christ. No. Perhaps just TVs just did flicker like this back in the day. It's weird because actually, looking on camera, it doesn't look like it's flickering at all. You've just got that little bit of a horizontal line there, but no real flicker. So that's good. Good for you guys, but not for me. Looking at this directly and it feels like I'm tripping. Anyway, right, what I'll do is stick a disc in and see what happens. Don't know what to expect. He showed me a couple of games working, so see how the disc does. You must replace volume A500. So that looks like it's asking for a hard drive, a 1.2 gigabyte hard drive. Is that right? Look at this. What the hell? You must replace... Oh, that's in the wrong port then, isn't it? This is the other thing. As soon as you need to start unplugging and plugging things, you've got to go around the back. Anyway, right. You must replace volume. So did he have a hard drive on this? Yeah, this left mouse one's a bit dicky. So look at this, look. Version 33.56, 23rd of April 1987. That is 1 month short of 33 years ago. So I've just clicked retry and it's carried on loading. I don't know what it's doing exactly, but cool. Workbench 1.2. What you do from here, I do not remember. I really do not remember what you're supposed to do from here, but it was a file management. It was obviously prior to Windows. There's only one game that I could want to possibly play on an Amiga if I'm just turning it on and having a blast for an hour or so, and it's that Sensible World of Soccer. This, in my opinion, 25 years later, is still one of the most playable games that's ever been made. Now, some people consider me a bit of a heathen in that I always prefer to play it on or with a Sega Mega Drive joypad, which were compatible with these machines, rather than a joystick. But I don't have a Sega Mega Drive joypad until I pick up a Sega Mega Drive console and have a play. Particularly, I like the smaller Boomerang 6-button joypads. But anyway, so let's have a look at this. It's what I always remember. You put your first disc in, unless you got your second disc drive plugged in, pop your second disc just there waiting ready. I'll also get this joystick plugged in. I need to invest in a better joystick or a Sega Mega Drive pad, like I say. Cables everywhere. All seems to be good so far. Just waiting for the music. I can remember back in the day making a tape. So I connected the audio out to said Bosch or Iowa system. And I can remember sticking a blank tape in and taping the soundtracks for Sensible World of Soccer, Turrican 2, probably more specifically, Lotus Turbo Challenge, etc, etc, because the music, the soundtracks are all fantastic back in the day. Here we go. Sound. Should there be sound now? There we go. You're a ghost or a superstar hero. You let your head down. Listen to that disc drive. Just listen to that noise. Just listen to the noise while it's waiting for a disc. Ugh, what a horrid noise. Listen. Oh, that's brilliant. I mean, it's horrible, but it's brilliant. It's just so good to hear. Just so good to hear. And joysticks, guys, I mean, these were terrible, weren't they? I mean, they were brilliant, but, you know, they were absolutely terrible. I'll tell you what, we'll have a quick friendly. So I don't know if, I mean, obviously we sat here waiting for the game to load, but you still wait for games nowadays to load. I've been playing a Destruction Derby game on the, I can't remember what it's called, but I've been playing a Destruction Derby game on the Xbox One X, and it's terribly slow at loading. And I never quite got my head around that, but there we go. All right then. I can't remember the last time I played this game, and he scores straight away. Get in, Brian Roy! Come on! The limitations of the old joystick system seem to come into play a little bit here. You've got one button, fire, and it's always felt like you had to press it harder to get a bit more power. Whether that is the case or not, I don't know. But you feel like you're wrenching the joystick around. And now, come on, free kick. Sorry, I've gone quiet. I'm concentrating. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, 90 minutes. Come on, we can hold on to this 2-1 lead. Get in, first game back, 2-1. Guys, seriously, I can't express enough. I really can't. This is fantastic. The problem is, if you were to get some sort of remake of this game, which there were many, I think you can still play it on the PC. For me, there is nothing better than playing an original game on the original hardware. So thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully I'll see you again next time.
Retro Unboxing.